Hello and welcome to another episode of Paper Traders, a show where two average Joes try to beat the market. I'm Eric and I'm here with Danny, and we are here to try to help you understand how easy it is to make a few bucks, essentially.
That's a good way of putting it. I mean, we're doing pretty well. We've slowly but surely kind of made our way into the markets. I feel like we kind of tiptoed around the first few months. And then we kind of slowly got aggressive and created about a 6-stock portfolio at the moment. Obviously, we've kind of noted in the earlier episodes this year that we wanted to get a little bit more aggressive.
Well, I mean, I straight pulled the trigger on a whim last week.
Yeah,
for those that were watching.
So
we'll get to that later, though.
And it was on kind of a recommendation of one of our listeners. So
yeah, which don't forget.
Yeah, go ahead. You do.
No, go ahead, man. Your turn. I'm tired of spitting it. Go ahead.
All right. Well, hey, everybody who's listening right now, make sure you get into those comment sections. If you're not watching live, just know that we are live. You can come on in here at 11 a.m. Central Time. I always forget Central Time. Eastern Time, 12 o'clock. Get on in here. Drop your comments. Just tell us what you're thinking. What's going on in the market? Do you have any stocks that you're looking at?
You East Coasters, jump in on your lunch break and talk some smack here.
Yeah. So yeah, just get involved. If you're not, hit that like button on the YouTube. Leave some comments in there. We're always looking and responding. So yeah, just get involved and.
I'm always looking.
Yeah.
Danny will tell you if you can pull up my machine right now. I'm waiting for those comments to come in. I see 8 of you viewers right now. So somebody say something, even if it's just hello, good morning. Oh, there we go.
Hey.
I flew a boss again.
Good morning.
Good morning. So yeah, kind of a weird day in the markets. We've got a lot of basically turbulence only because of what's going on with the impeachment.
Yeah,
to get on a serious note here,
it's taken over kind of the market headlines, in my opinion.
It's taken over everything for like the last 2 months.
Yeah, and I've kind of turned my head off of it. I can't take it anymore, to be honest. It's like every single day I open up my news feed and all I'm reading is impeachment rules and.
Are you on overload, Danny?
A little bit, yeah. I'm just tired of it, and I guess I'm one of those Americans who just like let me see the results at this point because it's been going on for so long.
Lucky enough for you, it's going to be over probably by the end of like next week. So
is that what there is? How fast do these trials go? Are you kind of up on that at all?
I've been paying very little attention to it because just like you, I kind of feel like I'm on overload. It's just constantly in the back of my head. If you pull up the news on any site, everybody's constantly talking about it. It's just never ending. But what I do know is that opening arguments are going to be 24 hours dispersed over a couple of days.
And that's tomorrow?
I think that starts even maybe today.
Today? Okay. See, that just goes to show I'm not very on top of it. Again, we're not the political show. We do have to talk about it, unfortunately, because it does affect the markets. It is something that people are... It's on the forefront of their minds. It's something that it is affecting everybody here in America.
Well, and I mean, it rightly so will have an impact depending on what happens. I mean, if he does get removed, I mean, that's going to be a pretty big deal because then you got to look to Mike Pence and see whether or not Mike Pence can hold things together at least until the election in November. So
yeah, and which ways kind of the markets will turn. Will people be happy with that type of
and I don't know.
solution?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I don't know much about Mike Pence as himself. I don't know what his policies really are. I mean, when it comes to the president, you don't normally like pay too much attention to the vice president because you don't anticipate something like this happening,
yeah.
right?
They definitely take a back burner,
Right. But you don't, because they're there pretty much as a backup in case this happens. I
would love to pose the question to like the general America. Could you name the vice president of like 25 other presidents? If I just
I wouldn't. Off. There's a bunch of people out there that definitely know them.
Well, probably, but me alone, I don't.
Yeah, I don't really pay too much attention, honestly. Like I said, it's usually the president that you're more worried about. Usually, the vice president really doesn't come into much political. I don't know the word I'm looking for here. I'm kind of blanking. He's usually not in the middle of everything.
Yeah, well, he's just not on the forefront of the news.
Right.
And if he is, it typically is something that he's doing in a positive light.
He's working on some policy or something that the president's got him on. So
right.
It's kind of an annoying thing, and we have to deal with it now. And seeing it just randomly seems to really come to a head on our show. I think that's really kind of what's bugging me because every time it comes to us trying to help these people out, we kind of get stuck with this beast every time, where it's like, oh well, the markets are crazy right now, so let's just kind of hold tight because we can't really make a move just yet.
Right, but fortunately for us, it is earnings season. So we've definitely had some company news come out that has been able to overshadow.
It's been
give
strong.
some positive light. It's been, I think, pretty positive for the most part. Definitely mixed for some companies.
Intel killed it, didn't they?
I'm not too sure. I didn't see that one. I was more focused
I'm gonna
on
pull that up.
the Netflix earnings report, as I'm sure a lot of people are. They're definitely a company that can set the tone for a lot of tech companies going forward. So I'm just going to kind of jump into that one since I'm kind of already on it. In my opinion, I thought they did pretty darn well.
Intel's
in
Thursday,
the earnings.
Actually, by the way. Sorry to
On
interrupt.
Thursday?
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. But so Netflix, yeah, they did in my opinion pretty well for what I would like to see from this company. They added 8.76 million subscribers overall. That actually surpassed both analysts and the company's expectations. Now, the downside to that was that most of those were all international, and a lot of people were looking for growth in the U.S. to continue just as strong as it has been. But I feel like we've reached that plateau with, I think, U.S. subscribers. So to kind of break it down,
there's a lot of competition there now too.
Yeah, right. I mean, you had Disney Plus come out, HBO came out with one,
Peacock.
Apple. So there's a lot of things kind of coming out that people are changing their tones to where they want to be watching their streaming. So we only added here in the U.S. 420,000 subscribers, which is pretty
Which is still a lot of people, though.
Yes, it is. But like I said, I feel like we've reached kind of a plateau in the millions of subscribers who people would be,
I think that time has passed.
Just now signing up. I feel like that
time
is
gone.
Right. But over abroad, as you can see by the numbers, like I said, they added 8.76 million overall, 420 only in the United States. So quite a bit internationally, which is, in my opinion, a great sign. It's them tapping into markets that otherwise they haven't been able to. There are hundreds of millions of people outside of the United States, so I only see this as a positive light.
Well, I mean, if you just look at what Netflix offers now, I don't know if you've noticed this, but when you go through the lists of things, like I'm seeing a lot more, we'll say Bollywood movies.
Yeah,
There's a lot more Bollywood stuff there, so I know that they're definitely trying to target the Indian audience for sure.
They have a lot of international movies. I know at one point there was a lot of what was it? I think there were like Brazilian movies of some sort.
Oh, dude, I do remember those.
There was a lot of those. I mean, they had a lot of TV shows. There were a lot of international shows and subtitles. I watched a few of them. I'm not a big subtitle guy, so it doesn't really help for me, but that's biased, so it doesn't really help anybody. But yeah, they were doing a lot of different international shows. As a lot of people know, they have a huge budget that they put out every year to create these productions.
Yeah, wasn't it like $3 billion or something last year?
Yeah,
or they're projecting $3 billion to spend.
It was something silly in the high billions. But I mean, they're doing pretty well. They posted a $5.5 billion in revenue, which is up 31% from a year ago. So again, I don't really understand kind of the negatives that people saw. I
Holy
do
cow,
get
was
that.
I off?
What?
Holy cow. I'm looking at this article here, and they said they spent $15 billion.
Holy crap!
In 2019.
I knew it was in the billions, but
and they're planning on spending $17.3 billion this year.
Wow!
And that's via Variety. I mean,
well, I guess when I just said that they made about $5 billion, at some point this company's going to offset those. Numbers.
Well, I mean, you've got all these subscribers. On top of that, you're actually producing content, which is going to go and in turn bring you more audience, right? Like, if you get these shows that are super popular, like I know Orange is the New Black is gone, but there's all these other shows that are super popular. Like, I don't know, I haven't watched this one, but I've heard a lot of people talking about it. The This Is Us. Isn't that on Netflix as well?
No, that's funny that you mentioned that because this show my mother watches. It's on ABC or CNBC, one of those really popular network shows.
Either way, Netflix has got a bunch of winners.
No, I thought you were going to mention The Witcher. That's been
that was a
big
huge one.
I've been hearing across.
Did you watch
media.
that one?
I haven't yet.
It's a little weird.
Is it?
It's a little weird.
I've heard mixed reviews. It's funny how Netflix shows work though, because they come out and they don't really become popular for a while. Like The Witcher's been out for a long time, and it only
Has it?
Yeah, I think they said back in like October or something.
No.
It's been out for a couple months before it actually reached its peak. Kind of like, hey, everybody should be watching The Witcher. So it's funny how that kind of, I guess,
Yeah, no, it was only
dynamic
released in
works.
December.
Was it?
Yeah, December 20th, 2019.
I swear I read an article where it was saying that it was released like 2 or 3 months before it actually got popular or something. So maybe that was fake news.
Yeah, I don't know. But December. That's not too long ago.
No, not at all.
And I watched it. It's a little weird. You got to be into that fantasy type genre, and I know it's based off a video game. So, seeing as I didn't play
that's right. The Witcher's a game.
Yeah, I didn't play it, so I don't know anything about how the game went. But the show is a little strange.
Yeah, I've heard it's slow, so I haven't gotten into it. But what I did watch was Dracula. I know I mentioned that to you.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday.
I won't bring any spoilers. It's a pretty quick series. There's only 3 episodes, but they're fairly long. They're like 80 minutes long, so you do get your fair share. But
they always have a winner. That's my point. They always have a show that people are willing to watch
and binge and keep you coming back.
Well, I think that's where this whole battle comes in with the streamers. I mean, the idea of, is it better to send out a whole season and let people binge it out, or is it better to release it weekly like Disney had done with The Mandalorian?
Yeah, well, it's funny because Netflix tried to do that with a few shows. I remember there was one where these kids were like, all the adults died and the kids survived or something, and that show they released in segments every week. Obviously, I don't think they got the best reception off that show, which, I mean,
maybe they went back to the other one.
Yeah, well, which in turn they probably thought that method wasn't the best idea.
Right.
So I don't think that was the best show to do it on. But
I don't disagree with the method, but I do, like, even now thinking about shows on Netflix that are awesome. Like, it's so quick and easy to just forget them. Like Stranger Things. Great show, but because it's a bingeable show, you kind of forget about it the rest of the year, and then it comes back around a year later, and you're like, oh, that's right.
It's kind of like, because The Mandalorian's still relevant, and it's been going on for, what?
A couple months
2 months now? Yeah. And I still am kind of behind. I have a few episodes to watch. I'm one of those where I let them kind of accumulate. But yeah, I enjoy having something to look forward to. I don't think the binge watching is going to survive the long term. I think at some point people are going to enjoy going back and having that, my Monday night TV shows on, or whatever it may be.
Oh, that'd be great for advertisers.
People are very routine in general, so I think that type of platform will work as time kind of changes. I think the initial push of all the streaming services, people got overloaded and they were just like consume. So I'm
so over it. Yeah. To be honest with you, I'm so done.
I don't know if any of our listeners are also done and finished with it, but yeah, I think the binge watching days might be a thing of the past sooner than later, especially with how these new services are kind of setting up their shows. Like you said, The Mandalorian's
good example.
Thing, so
all of these are gonna, I think the funniest part is all of them are gonna be set up to do advertisements sooner than later. Netflix already went and tested it like a while back. People hated it. Disney's got Hulu, so they've already got a tap into that advertising revenue. So I mean, I guarantee you that your streaming service is gonna look a lot like your old television very shortly.
Well, I think it'll be a different platform, in the same sense how advertising is done on like YouTube and stuff. I think it's impossible to escape advertising. They're going to put the money out there to advertise. And if they can't do it on the TV the way they used to and get the ROI they get.
Well, there's still all sorts of product placement and everything else. I mean, people were giving Stranger Things a hard time because I think it was Pepsi was sponsoring them. And you'd see like a Pepsi can just sitting there very obviously in scenes. I mean, that's been going on forever since
product
the beginning of movies.
Man.
Right.
That's a thing.
But I mean, no, you're right. You're never going to be able to get rid of advertising. But I think that when people... I think the whole reason people cut the cord, and I'm putting that in quotes because, I hate that term, but I think when people cut the cord, they expect that they're not going to have to deal with advertisements. And now they're going to, I think in the next year or two, they're going to end up getting a little ticked off, and those ads are going right back to where they were.
Yeah, well, I guess what I meant by the YouTube platform is they're going to be more catered to you, so you're not going to feel
be more direct, obviously.
Right, they're not going to be as in your face where you're like, what the hell did I just kind of watch type idea. I mean, there's hundreds of commercials out there I've probably seen where I just have no idea what I witnessed what product it was.
Yeah, it'll be
what
more direct
company.
advertising for sure. But I mean, that idea that advertising is still going to be in your television, it's going to be there.
Because I mean, I've bought products and I feel more open to these social media type ads and stuff. So if I feel like if they keep the format tasteful and use correct algorithms to address the demographics correctly, I don't think the advertising will per se drive people off. I think they'll be more or less used to it, and it won't be as, again, in your face like these random ads where you're just like, I would never want this. And
it's going to be just
why
like
would
a
I want this
television ad.
weird blanket that covers my whole body like a sweater? It's stuff like that where you just kind of shake your head.
I feel that no matter what, I mean, all it's based off of is your IP, right? Like whoever is signed into your internet,
something like that.
So I mean, if I ended up searching dog whistles, I don't know why that came to mind, but if I end up searching dog whistles at your house and you don't have a dog, it's going to eventually show you an ad for dog whistles, right?
And I'm never going to get rid of those,
right? You'll have direct advertising, no doubt, but it's still going to be full 60, 90-second ads that you're going to have to wait through before you get back to your show. Right. I guarantee it. Mark my words right here.
Well,
YouTube streamers, that this is going to be a reality.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, Netflix was the first ones to come out for the earnings seasons to kind of show how the streaming has been going. I'm curious to see what kind of numbers Disney is going to post. I know they came out with the whole 10 million subscribers in the first week, which was astronomical. So I'm very excited to kind of see how everybody stacks up to Netflix. Again, 8.76 million subscribers added globally. You got to remember there's going to be a plateau in certain countries. Obviously, United States being the first one. It's been here for 12, 13 years, probably longer, since those DVD rentals and stuff.
Which were hilarious.
Hey.
Disney announces 2/4. So
all right, so
next month.
very soon. 2/4 is about 2 weeks away.
Right.
So we're definitely going to be covering that and comparing them to Netflix. So.
I'm going to bet they're going to blow it out the water.
I hope so, because we both own it in our paper trading portfolio. So
I'm sure they're going to blow it out the water with the popularity of The Mandalorian and the fact that they had the Plus come out. I mean, they're just going to kill it.
Yeah, and by the way, the majority of people like The Mandalorian. I'm still trying to.
Boo.
You don't like it.
Boo you. Boo you.
Anyways, I think time to move along here.
Let's talk some Boeing here. Yeah, Boeing. We've talked about it. I'm going to talk about this more once we get to the Battleground, but it's up, down, mostly down. Constantly bad news coming out about it. They're now saying they might not be able to relaunch the Max until like this summer.
Yeah, well, we talked about it was like a couple weeks ago how they were saying basically they have no idea when they'll be able to get this plane off the runway.
And the big talk now is Airbus is going to kill it.
Yeah, basically they're cashing in,
right?
Because they're hey, you can't make your airplane,
right?
We can.
We can sell planes right now, guys. Yeah. Come buy them. And I mean, if you look at, so they don't trade on an American market, but if you look at Airbus, Danny, if you do them a favor, I mean, you can see like that probably hit around 2018, mid 2018. So they weren't doing bad. Something happened to Airbus where they dipped down here in 2019, but then right around all this news coming out, you can see they're just coming up. So in comparison, Boeing over the same, what do I have here? Like a year? Is it 5 years? 5 year comparison?
I do know Boeing off the top of my head is down since the March 10th accident, is down about 26% from that date. So they've taken quite a hit. That was back in 2019.
I mean, look at Boeing in comparison.
Yeah, they've just been on a tear.
I mean, you take the two of them and you look back to back. I mean, since mid 2016, both of them had a pretty good year and then crash. I'm assuming this little bounce here is probably going to be they ended up selling planes.
I would assume that huge volume spike is where that crash occurred. It was around March 10th, 2019, so it looks right.
Yeah, it's right around there. But I mean, and it just keeps going down. Again, I of the belief that they're not in that much trouble because they still have tons of government contracts. They still basically make their money.
Well, they do more than just airplanes, isn't that correct? Don't they do a lot of like kind of engineering and stuff for government contracting?
Oh yeah, I mean they're the ones that basically build the jets that protect our country.
Yeah,
they've got that. What is it? The 28 or something. It's like $1 billion plane.
Yeah, so I mean,
Like, it's insane.
I mean, they're not going anywhere. Let's be frank here.
Right.
They're going to be around here for a very
in terms
very
of
long time.
where they're going to come down, though, I mean, that's where we want to be buyers, I think. And I definitely want to be a buyer. I want to get into that, whether it be in just paper traders or in my real life account, because you know it's going to come back. I mean, this plane might have hurt them, but it's one of those things, like, how many airplane suppliers can there really be in the world?
Yeah,
You know,
well,
like, you have to have competition, so you're going to have at the very least two, like we currently have. But who else is going to come out of the blue here and just start building huge passenger jets that can carry thousands of people, thousands of miles? No one. So this company's going to be around. It's just a matter of getting everything sorted out from the 737 MAX and moving on.
They're going through a little bit of a rough patch, obviously.
But that's a good thing for us. People, that's where we have to get in.
Exactly.
It's just a matter of when it comes far enough down. So I mean, what time we got here? You know what, Danny? Let's take it into the battleground.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so I'm kind of already showing my hand here, but
sounds like you like Boeing.
yeah, I'm waiting. And you guys have heard me say this before. I mean, I'm waiting on Boeing to come down. Now, there is the gamble that something happened and they've got extra government money coming in. I don't think there's anything like that going on. Where this earnings, which just happens to be next week, so we will definitely be talking about it if they go and they announce on the show. But
well, it's I think why a lot of investors are kind of hitting hard on Boeing today. The stock's down, I think, like 3-4%.
It was like 10%. No, it's still down 10%.
Oh, it's continued to go. Holy moly! So Boeing is down. Let's see. Well, today it's down 3.9% or 3.1%. So not terrible, but it's due to them coming out basically, like we said. They don't think that this plane, the 737, is going to be out until mid 2020. Right now, it's currently costed the company $9 billion, which is only going to grow.
It's like pocket change for a company that large, though.
Yeah,
that's
but
like what, maybe 20 planes?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
you
but
know, like,
I mean, it's.
I'm gonna look up, see what it costs to buy a 737 Max. I bet you can get one real cheap right now, Danny.
Yeah, real cheap, like $1 billion.
We should buy one. Let's see what they cost.
But they're going on to say that analysts are expecting it to balloon to more than $25 billion. I'm sorry, due to the grounding. So it's only going to cause more headaches for them. They're also having smaller demand on their, let's see, it was a 787 Dreamliners, and they were also having production problems with a new 777X jetliner. So I feel like things are starting to stack on top of them a little bit with the problems. And like we said, Airbus is kind of taking advantage of this, and it seems like a lot of customers are starting to buy their planes.
Well, because they can make them right now. Like, I don't know. Personally, this is a weird thing to talk about, but if I were the head of Boeing, you know, what I would definitely do is scrap the Max, man. Like, it would be, okay, let's move on to the next project. Like, I'm sure a lot of research and development went into this thing, but this thing is now costing you a fortune.
I think it would cost them more, though, if they were to let them just be scrapped, because at some point they got to get them out of they got to sell some of them to recoup some of their.
You're not wrong,
costs.
but I mean, I would have stopped building them like a year ago.
I think they did. That our past conversation was when they halted the production of the actual planes because they didn't know basically what the FAA was going to do. It was up in the air.
According to the Wikipedia, it says it's still being produced.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I've just got like the short on the Wikipedia here, but it says produced 2014 to present. And I mean, the unit cost, it depends on which Max you get. You have the Max 7 through the Max 10. The Max 7 is $99.7 million. The Max 10 is $134.9 million. So, I mean, it's actually kind of funny. I know a guy that used to work for Fitch Ratings that used to deal with the cost assessments, you know, and how companies like, you know, can write off costs and what the cost of the planes are, usage, etc. And like, he used to deal with this. I wish I could get him on the line and talk to him about it. I'm going to see if he'd actually be willing to talk to us. We could Skype him in. But I mean, seems like a lot. But when you consider a plane that's 134.9, like, we'll just round it up to $135 million, you know, that's only what? Less than 10 planes before you're at $1 billion.
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely talking on a different scale of cash flow.
Oh, yeah.
And what it takes to actually build these planes. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a complicated situation. I feel like that
Oh,
is
for
going
sure.
to unfold over
But
the
that's
next
hopefully
coming years.
yeah,
I
but
mean,
it's going
it's
to
not
help us out
something.
as buyers for sure. I
Yeah,
mean,
and to be honest, it might be a long-term play where you look for these.
oh yeah, I'd be holding this for a minute.
Right, because I feel like it for something like this to kind of start showing up on their balance sheets and their earnings reports and all that good stuff would take years kind of to recoup themselves. Maybe like 2021, 2022, you might see some type of reversal in what we're seeing currently. They're sideways trading and now going down
I mean,
about
I'm
the
not a
10%.
huge statistician. This isn't my background. This isn't what I do for a living. But seeing as we've been doing this for a while now here at Zacks, I mean, I'd have to guess that somewhere here at about 350 is their support level. We're currently below 350 at 303. I mean, it could just keep tumbling, which would be great.
Hey,
I would love to get into that.
if we can see some buying opportunities, it's definitely on my list. It's like we've said, it's a company that's going to be around for the long
Forever.
terms, which is one of the type of kind of trading I like to do, which is why I bought Disney. I'm sure it's one of the reasons you bought Disney.
Yep.
They're going to be around for a long, long time. They have a lot of different ventures that they work on.
And they're
So
constantly expanding.
yeah, so I'm definitely, I mean, obviously keeping my eye on it. We have some downgrades coming out from analysts. The price targets are starting to hit the high 200s, around 280s to 290s. So we might see another, $20, $30 drop where investors can kind of take advantage of that. And
It hit somewhere
I will be
around
very
probably
happy.
275. I'm in.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm in at 275 or lower. I mean, if it gets down to 250, like I'm definitely in.
oh, that's when I'm just gonna price average myself in.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely take a big hunk of my portfolio here and dump it into that. But with that, you guys know my plan. Bungie actually ended up being kind of a cool win for me. Thanks to I think it was a FUA boss that told us about that one last week. Who was asking about it. It might have been Peters as well. Can't remember who it was, but it's showing to be down right now, and my portfolio is a little messed up. But I was up in green yesterday, so I'm imagining this is all just because of what's going on with the impeachment. I'm not really all too worried. But
Yeah,
Bungie was actually a good buy.
the markets are pretty flat, so I think just in general, you're not going to see too much price action as
No.
of now. Like you said, there's a lot of people kind of focused in on that
Other
impeachment
things.
stuff. So the markets are kind of focused on that and earnings. So it'll be kind of very specific to which companies are moving higher or lower on an intraday basis. So
Right.
it's a pretty fun time in the market, in my opinion, to be watching. And in the midst of earnings, you can really find some good buying opportunities. If earnings are, like I said, Netflix I thought did pretty well, but they're down significantly today. So, some investors might see that as a buying opportunity. So, just keep that in mind as you kind of go through earnings. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out if I can get into that next new stock. So,
Well, tell us what you got, Danny. What's going on with your portfolio?
my portfolio is looking pretty decent.
Yeah, you were
we've-
looking pretty green when I was looking earlier.
Yeah, we finally made some headway with Square, hitting around $70, so we're not too down on that one anymore. Our marijuana play with GW Pharmaceuticals has started to pay off. We're in at 113. It's now sitting at 117. Might be adding a little bit to this one sometime soon if it continues to drop a little bit here. As you can see, it's down 3%, but this is a pretty volatile play.
Yes.
So you got to watch them carefully. It's definitely one I definitely watch to see if we can add. And then obviously Disney and my AT&T play were pretty safe, and they've done very well for me. So yeah, my portfolio's as a lot of people have seen
You're
in the
doing good, man.
past. It was very red for months and months and months, and I'm sure a lot of people were like, "Ooh, he's not doing very well."
But look at the turnaround.
If you stick with it, if you believe in the companies that you're buying and do your background research, as a lot of people here like to say, look under the hood of these companies to see what's going on with them. Don't just buy something you're like, oh, I like that. So yeah, just get involved with them like we did here, and you might get lucky and get some good plays. So.
All right, so let's get to the questions we got here. We got Leo Fitlife. Welcome, Leo. I don't think I've seen your name here before. So
Welcome.
What do you guys think of Tesla?
Let me just start on a positive note. I love Tesla. I know the big news is them hitting the $100 million evaluation, or was it $100 billion?
I think it was billion.
Billion, yeah, $100 billion valuation. So I love it. I think he's innovative. I think we need people like this kind of in the world running companies that can kind of change how we're doing things. I know it's a slow process and it can sometimes be not so pretty, but I think he's making some headway. He's starting to make some profit in the company, and he's making that cool truck that
Oh God!
is you know what? It's
What
growing
an
on me,
atrocity!
man. It's
It's
growing
an
on me.
atrocity.
But it is an extremely volatile stock. I know it's been on an absolute rip, roar, and tear recently. So maybe looking for some pullbacks to actually get in this type of stock would be a better idea. But that's just my 2 cents on that one.
Yeah, Leo, it's good that Danny went first because everybody who knows me knows the show knows I'm a total Tesla hater.
That's why I went first. I wanted to start on a
yeah.
positive note.
I don't disagree that valuation wise and stock wise, if you gotten in, it's a good buy. I mean, you made money for sure.
Oh yeah.
There's
There's some people who made some very nice paychecks on that one.
I can't trust the guy, and I don't think his company's going anywhere in the long term.
Yeah, and it's funny how the way you phrase that is because I feel like a lot of people who don't like Tesla, it's basically because they don't like what Elon
it's not that I
is
don't
doing.
dislike Elon. He's an eccentric billionaire, which most billionaires are.
Right.
And he's a young guy, so it's not like he's,
And he's a genius. He is a very, very smart man.
He's a smart guy, and he's good at marketing himself and marketing his products. And, I personally think that he did a great job of marketing his vehicles to the upper echelon of the class system.
Well, you have to admit, just even like the way he represents or presents the Cybertruck, like the fact that he's
selling
broke the internet
darn
with that.
T-shirt with a frickin' with a hole.
See, but
he's literally selling a T-shirt that's got the famous rock hole from when it got hit by the guy at the show.
There you go. It's perfect. Like I don't feel like any other car company is making waves like this.
Yeah,
like when they do a showing of their new cars, like even the supercars that people fascinate over, nobody's like talking about those for months. Like he showed this Cybertruck, which most people thought were ugly. Even me, I was like, this thing is hideous.
Ugly as sin.
Like I said, it's growing
and
on me.
Non-functional.
In a weird way is growing on me.
I can't wait till somebody we know picks one up and I can just tear it apart.
But it's strange that he's able to make these waves in the internet and on social media to where people are just buzzing about his product.
But that's you know what it is? It's young
promotion.
Kids like you, Danny. Like I saw, these movies back in the 80s, Total Recall, where that car was real. You know?
I like Total Recall.
Yeah, but he's not making anything new. He's making concept cars from futuristic movies of the 80s,
Yeah, but I mean, what are we all... I mean, I feel like that's how it's always been. Like, it's funny because, I mean, maybe we've always done that and we just never realized that we're basing our stuff off of old movies.
I don't know.
Even our old
sci-fi movies.
Yeah. We're just taking those ideas and we're implementing them into the real world.
I don't see the Tesla ever being a vehicle for the average man. I just don't. I mean, you're talking so much of a buy-in that you have to do, not to mention I always love to turn the knob on what's going to happen with the electricity bill. Like it's cute now because we don't have to worry about overproducing electricity. We've got enough to keep the lights on at your house, but most of our electricity here in the United States is made by burning.
Yeah.
So like, okay, fine, so now just the city of Chicago, 6 million people now all drive electric vehicles. You don't think your electric bill is going to go up?
What?
You're going to have to put up more power stations. Those things don't just build themselves. I
mean, it's probably healthier or
I don't think it's healthier. I hate that argument because that thing ain't green. Well, I make that argument all the time.
More green is probably the better way of
okay.
it.
A lot of people I'm going to bring this up because a lot of people forget about this, and this is a huge one that people overlook. There's literally a lawsuit out against Apple, Tesla, and insert other large. I think it might be Samsung.
Anybody who uses lithium batteries.
Yes, because they're literally using child labor to go and mine the cobalt out of a country in Africa. That's how non-green this company really is. If they were green, they wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, and look,
and that would mean their cars were millions of dollars more.
There are holes in the way things are done, but they're definitely moving in the right direction when it comes to...
When they stop using child labor, then they can start talking to me about how green they are.
I definitely and 100% agree with that. But you have to agree that they're also moving in the direction that most companies should be.
Those tires made out of soy?
Look, what are you gonna make? Like, come on, that's what I mean.
That's what I'm saying, though. You can't tell me it's green when it's not any different other than it has an electric motor.
It's more green. That's the argument. You can't be 100%.
Where's my sad trombone?
Come on. Like, there's got to be
Right
a point in time when you just have to accept that there are still kinks being worked out. These are still brand new things. Yes,
I know. I don't
labor law,
know what the problem is nobody knows about
it,
Danny. That's my problem with it. Is people overlook that because they found a cute car that everybody told them is green, so they drive it around thinking about it. They don't think about those children that are mining the minerals meant to make that car, because that's out of sight, out of mind. You know, that's what bugs me.
I'm sure there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that
we
don't know about for a lot of companies.
But this one's a pretty big one.
Anyways.
Anyway, so I'm against the company in terms of its ethics and everything else, but in terms of the stock market, I mean, there's no denying that it's done well. You know, that's as far as I'm willing to go with Tesla, really.
All right, we will agree to disagree.
For once, maybe we should do the Zoss. What do you think, Danny?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like disagree to disagree. We do a good job. But yeah, I like Tesla. Eric hates it. We'll leave it at that.
Right. I will never own it. That's for sure.
Yeah, but we'll see how it goes.
He also asked about NIO stock. I don't know anything about this one, so let me pull it up real quick.
NIO?
NIO Inc. American Depository Shares. Each I can't even read that. Shares each reprise. I don't even know what that is. Let's just read the little description. NIO is a premium electric vehicle.
Well, it's got analyst coverage.
It's a premium electric vehicle market. The company designs, jointly manufactures, and sells smart and connected premium electric vehicles. It offers electric cars. So you can probably guess where I'm going to go with this one.
I've never heard of this company.
I've never heard of it either.
You're gonna whoever sent that in. You're gonna have me do some research after the show, and I'm gonna be looking into this car. I want to see what they're.
I don't think it's a car. At least I don't think it's a car. It seems to be the people that build like the infrastructure.
Oh, that's what they're doing. Okay.
They only went public in early 2018 or late 2018. So bottom 26 of their industry, which usually isn't a good sign.
Maybe they're involved with the smart car. Remember that thing?
It says something about electric vehicles.
You remember
jointly manufactures and sells smart and connected premium vehicles. So I don't know what that means. Let me do another quick Google search and see if we can't just find an NIO vehicle.
Yeah, because I mean, I know there's a lot of electric cars out there. Like I know in the EU, I was telling you about this yesterday, how their carbon emissions have to be cut, I think, by almost 35%.
Oh, they are making their own car.
2022, so... Oh, they are?
Yep. The NIO ES8. I got it up here on the website if you're showing them.
This must be more of a European thing. I've not heard or seen anything here in the U.S. for that.
Did say something.
Which is interesting.
It says foreign automotive, so it's definitely a foreign company. I'm not sure
that makes sense because, like I said, the EU is actually pushing for.
Oh, they're based in Shanghai, China. Okay. Oh, okay, man. I'm gonna tell you, Leo. I don't know, man. Everybody here is pretty scared of what comes out of China. I would say until this company actually produces a physical car and starts showing some sort of production, I would be worried.
Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of companies kind of pop up in the next coming years because, like I said, these EU countries are pushing the car manufacturers to cut carbon emissions, and it's by law, so they physically have to start creating, if not fully electric, at least hybrid electric cars. So I think you're going to see a lot of these types of, productions and car companies kind of popping up to see if they can kind of
it seems like they're actually
market.
Pretty well established, though. I mean, it looks like right here they have a race car, so they're actually racing electric motor. I mean, they're doing it in Mexico, so I mean...
Yeah, they have a whole circuit. I saw that on YouTube once. They have this, like, electric car circuit.
Which would be so funny. The car runs out of battery.
All you hear, it's hilarious. All you hear is...
The tires.
No, they're like buzzing, like whining noises. It's funny how it sounds because you're so used to the rip roar of an engine coming around the corner, but this is so it's pretty funny. But
sounds like the slot cars I used to play with back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious. Well, it's based on the same premise, really. Yeah, I don't know, man. It seems like it's a legit company. If they're already doing racing and stuff, they're actually real. So
I mean,
I don't really know anything about it. The fact they just went public, I mean, it's bottom 26 though. That would make me a little nervous.
I would say the key takeaway probably is just to keep an eye on the electric car market. It definitely is going to be something that is going to boom, in my opinion, in the next, say, decade, with all these changing of laws and regulations that countries are going to have to kind of.
It's only $5 a share. I mean, Leo, at $5 a share, I mean, take the gamble. I mean, look what happened with Tesla. If this is the Tesla of China and you actually really believe in this company, because I'm just glancing over this. It seems like you actually know something about it. I mean, if you believe in this company at $5 a share, I mean, imagine what would happen if you put $1,000 into this right now.
Yeah, just be careful.
Imagine what would happen if it turns into the real Tesla. Tesla's at what today? 500 something? Like, I mean, that would be obviously a huge win for you. I'd say if you know something about it and you believe in it, go for it, man. That's what we really say here.
Yep, just be careful. That's all I gotta say.
Be careful. Don't put your whole... Oh, he says he owns it. So, yeah, obviously don't put your whole portfolio into it. But, I mean, if you got in at $1.40, I mean, mazel tov, man. You're probably going to be sitting real pretty if these guys actually take off.
Yeah, congratulations.
Beyond that, let's see what we got here. Oh, he's giving me a little information. He said he owned 700 shares at that price, but sold it at $5.
Congratulations.
At $5, man, it's good.
That was a great play.
Yeah, it's a great play. I mean, if you really believe in it, man, I might look into it because at $5, if it's actually that legit, China's a huge market. I mean, that would be a huge win.
Yeah, and I'll say it's nice that it actually has some analyst coverage. A lot of those smaller companies don't, so you kind of don't really know what's going on or getting any insight from, people who are kind of getting the deep dive into it. So
right. All right, and then lastly, he's asking about Beyond Meat. And I'll be honest with you about Beyond Meat. It seems like once that news came out that it's not any really more healthy than regular meat, and it was found to be like super processed. I think that was the other thing that people were really hammering on. Like, if you're going to eat healthy, this is like a super processed patty. I don't know, man. It feels like, at least myself, a lot of that hype beyond the Beyond Meat has dipped.
Yeah, I'm impartial. I personally don't like the whole Beyond Meat fad, and I mean, I get why it's being done. But yeah, like you said, when people were kind of bringing up health concerns
and it being processed, it seems like it really started to take a hit.
I think you might as well go back to the vegan burgers and stuff that are actually known to be healthy.
Let's see what the price consensus and EPS price says.
I mean, it's a fad, in my opinion. I definitely think it's just a part of the diet stuff and kind of trying to cater to I guess the trends in our generation.
Jeez, Danny, take a look at this chart, man. Yeah, that's a swing, buddy.
Well, that's the IPO.
Yeah, but
people thought it was
still, that is a swing.
Yeah, it was definitely one in the markets that people were talking about.
Jeez. Yeah, this is one of those that I'd probably not be in on. I mean, I know that for 2020 it's showing that's supposed to come up. 2021 is supposed to go up further from there. I don't know. I don't really believe in the product. I could not put my money behind that one personally.
Well, we'll definitely see. So,
all right. Well, I think that is going to pretty much do it for us today.
That was a long one. Holy moly, 42 minutes, man.
He's asking whether or not we've tried Beyond Meat. No, I actually haven't tried it. I'm a meat eater, and I have no shame about it.
I have tried it, and I will say if you eat them side by side, you will taste the difference clear as day. If you have your first burger in the past couple of days and you just enjoy it, it's okay. It tastes like a burger. Like it tastes like meat.
I eat meat. I'll just eat meat instead. That's me.
Yeah.
That's
all right. My opinion.
Well, hey guys, listen. Really appreciate you sticking around here with us. I mean, this one went long. You guys had some real good questions and really got involved here, which we always appreciate. While you guys are here and still listening, make sure you check out Zacks.com/promo. It's got our latest deal, which is the home study course, which is everything you should need to know to win in the markets. It's got books, it's got videos, it's got interactive materials. It's quite extensive. It's quite extensive, really. I mean, I know the home study course because I worked on it, and it's a lot of stuff. So it's a pretty good deal if you guys are interested. Zacks.com/promo with that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and don't forget we will be back next week probably talking Boeing.
Peace.